Hey PPLD makers, my name is Jennifer and I'm here today with Ingrid who works with Cool Science. Thanks for being here, Ingrid.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Jennifer. This is going to be a lot of fun today.
I'm really excited. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do with Cool Science?
Sure. So my job at Cool Science is being a science educator. And what that means is I get to go to places like libraries and museums and schools and do cool, fun, and messy science experiments with anybody, really. Anywhere from little tiny kids all the way up to grown-ups who, like me, are science nerds.
Awesome. That sounds like really fun work. And today we're lucky to have Ingrid here to help us talk about solar circuits and making our own solar bugs. So starting on October 11th, there will be take and make kits at some libraries. There's more information about where you can find them in the description. The kits include a solar cell, a self-adhesive motor, a piece of foam tape, a piece of conductive tape, and 4 familiar looking googly eyes. There's also a sheet with some instructions on putting it together, some sheets about the experiments we'll be talking about today, as well as a sheet with some wings and legs on it that you can use to customize your solar bug. So Ingrid, can you tell us a little bit about how solar panels work?
Sure. So a solar panel like this one is basically a sandwich. And it's got a layer that has silicon plus phosphorus on one half of the sandwich, and a layer that has silicon and boron on the other half. Now the silicon plus phosphorus actually has more electrons than usual. So when photons, which is little particles of energy from the sun or any other bright light, hit this, it makes electrons, the extra electrons, move. And the other side of the sandwich, the silicon plus the boron, has fewer electrons than usual. Well, when all of those electrons are flowing or moving, that's electricity. There's also these little tiny metal pieces in the middle, which will be easier to see when you guys have your own, that get connected to these little parts on the back, and that makes the electricity go from here into your motor, and then makes the motor move.
Awesome. Well, maybe you can show us how to put it together.
I will. So the basic idea of making this solar cell is that you take your little solar panel and you put it upside down because you're going to connect the motor to the underside of it. And then the motor comes with a little self-stick spot on it. So you peel that off and you stick it right in the middle here, just like that. And then you've got these 2 little wires, and one of them needs to be connected to one side, and you're going to do that with a little piece of this tape, which has a sticky backing on it. And sometimes that's the hardest part of the entire operation, is getting the sticky backing off of the tape. Alright, so when you get this backing off of the tape, you just tape the wire so that it is touching that little metal dot. And then you do the same thing on the other side with the other wire. And then, once you get them both taped on there, you can test it by taking it outside and holding it in the sunlight and seeing if you can feel the motor vibrate, and that's how you'll know that you did it correctly. If you don't feel the motor vibrate, you might need to go back and make sure that both sides of the wires are touching those little metal dots. And if it's not working, try to reposition those wires and make sure that they're touching the dots so the electricity is flowing and going into the motor.
So there are more instructions included in your kit for putting the whole bug together, as well as another video that I'll link in the description for the whole process of making the solar bug. But once you have your solar bug rumbling, we can do some basic experiments to learn more about solar energy. So what else can we learn about solar cells with these bugs that we've made?
Well, one really interesting thing we can do is to find out just how close you have to get to the light source to get the solar panel to pick up enough energy to make the motor go. Now, you can't move the sun. That's not going to work.
Sure.
However, you can find a bright light at your house. Maybe it's the flashlight on your cell phone. Maybe it's a lamp that you have someplace in your house that has a really bright bulb. And what you do is you take your bug and you put it on your hand and you stand, fairly good distance away and you measure that distance. And you could use a ruler, you could use a meter stick, whatever you have. And then slowly move toward the light source until your bug starts moving. And that tells you exactly how far away you can be and still get enough photons from your light source to make this whole solar circuit work and have enough electricity to make the motor go. You might even see, if you go closer and closer and closer, if your bug goes faster. That could be a fun thing to try.
Yeah.
The idea is that you can experiment with this in lots of different ways, not just with the bug, but using this solar cell in lots of different other applications. And use your imagination. There is no wrong way to do this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ingrid. If you do an experiment or if you make something different with your solar bug or your solar circuit that's included with this kit, we would love to see it. If you share it on social media, please hashtag it with PPLD Take and Make, because we'd love to see what you make and what you learn from experimenting with this bug. If you'd like to learn more about solar energy in general, I've also compiled some library resources in the description, so you can read more about how solar energy works and other applications for it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Ingrid, for being here, and happy making.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.